Stipe versus DC3, right? UFC
Yeah.
252. Francis, they're saying that he's gonna be the backup. Do you like that position as the backup, or is it just like, let's just let Francis get the winner, no backups?
I leave that up to him and his managers. If they tell me that we're going to be the backup, then I'm going to make sure that he's ready. Again, like that's to me, it's kind of up to those guys on those sort of negotiations. I would prefer to have us as the front runner. We have a full camp. We know when we're going to fight. We know who we're going to fight. At the end of the day, if they say that we're going to be the alternate and that opportunity arises, then I'll make sure Francis is ready for either one of those guys.
And also, it's gonna be in Vegas. Francis is in Vegas. Everything's in Vegas, so it's like he's gonna be training already. It's almost like a perfect mix for him to step in.
For sure, absolutely.
Now with that matchup, the third fight, how do you see that fight going down?
Oh, I mean, you could flip a coin on that one. To be honest with you, I think DC only just because I know DC's been active and he's been training this entire time, whereas I know Stipe's been working and doing his firefighter job. Doesn't mean Stipe can't come out and put on a show, but I just don't know where his heart might be in this whole situation, right? But I know DC's been training because I know DC came by here not too long ago and was working his ass off. So I'm going to go with DC in that fight.
With DC, he says that, after this fight, he will retire. What do you think about that? Is like you already know if he wins the belt, he's gonna retire. So it kind of puts like Francis and Stipe in a weird position, right?
I know Francis is a competitor, and at the end of the day, I think he would love to be able to compete against a guy like DC, just because of his. I mean, if he wins this fight, I think he is the GOAT at the heavyweight division, and not being able to test your skill set against a guy like DC, I know is going to bug him. But and you don't even know if Stipe wins, he might retire too. So there might be this empty belt when either of these guys fight. We just don't know, and that's what I love about the fight game, man. Is you can't really prepare for anything. You got to prepare for everything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I feel like if DC wins and he retires, there's always gonna be the ghost of Francis lurking around. Like everybody's gonna be like, you duck Francis, like that word will come out, right?
Absolutely, yeah. He's waiting in the wings, man. He's the boogeyman under the bed right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Even with Stipe too, which is weird because Stipe did beat him.
Stipe did beat him. Yep, he sure did, man. And I know that since then, that's actually been what Francis has really wanted to get back, and he's been putting that work in every day. And some of the things you and I talked about the last time I was on is, we weren't sure when we were going to get that Jairzinho fight, but he said, man, I just want to work on everything right now because I don't know who might be next, and if it's Stipe, I want to be prepared. So that's when I knew I was like, this guy's got it, man.
I see, that your son and Francis, man, they have this like relationship. It's like the smallest guy with the biggest guy. Yeah, when you see that, man, it must get to your heart, man. Like how you guys built this like camaraderie amongst you and him and your son.
Yeah, he's my family, and during quarantine, he was over every Sunday for dinner. And I'm very proud of that relationship with not only with my son, but my daughters, my wife. Like he exudes a extension of me. He's my brother. He's my family. I find that to be important in our relationship with all of my fighters. Is I want them to understand who I am as a not only as a human being, as a coach, but as a father. They have one of the cutest relationships you're ever going to see, man. I'll ask my son, like, hey, who's your best friend? And it used to be me, but now it's always Francis. And I'm fine with that. I'll take a back seat to Francis. So, yeah. And my daughter just made it on the 18 for soccer. And the first person she wanted to call was Francis because they work a lot together in soccer and he plays. And, he's a big kid at heart. And it's great to see that other side of him because when he gets in the cage, he's a different freaking dude. When you see this guy knocking everybody out, but he's got a big heart, man, and he's one of the best human beings you're ever going to meet.
I wanted to go back to the Jairzinho fight. He went in there and just got the knockout just instantly, and a lot of people still had questions. You know what I mean? Like we didn't really get to see much, but it's almost
Right.
better that way, right? Because you don't really actually get to see how good he is. Because he's knocking everybody out so fast. So when he does go in there with somebody that's going to last a little bit longer, he could show his full skill set.
You're absolutely right, and it's been a good problem to have. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I can tell you until I'm blue in the face. This guy's been working hard on his wrestling. This guy's been working hard on his ground game. And the people in the room, they'll back that up. We had sparring sessions with guys, high level UFC guys, that Francis was blowing through double leg takedowns and guys couldn't get up. He was beating the crap out of guys on the ground. And it's great. I hope people underestimate that, because this dude really has been putting in the work. And, fortunate for us, we haven't really had to show it. He's got in and knocked everybody out. And I'll take that too. But, at the end of the day, we do have to work on those skills in the back of the house and the back of the scenes.
Another talking point about the Apex, because most likely this fight will be there, is the smaller cage. Do you think it does have a major impact in fights, especially heavyweights?
Absolutely. And I think I benefit from that at Extreme Couture, because I have 2 cages, and I have one as a 24-foot cage and I have a 30-foot cage. A lot of gyms don't even have 1 cage, but we set that up that way because we have a lot of guys fighting in smaller promotions, and they need to understand distance in small cages. So since we've been fighting at the Apex and we've been utilizing that small cage a lot more, it's helped our guys prepare and understand that when that bell rings, man, you're 2 steps in and you're right on a guy. You're 2 steps back and you're on the cage. So it's helped a lot. Heavyweight division, there is no room to move around or run, man. You saw that last week in Blades and Volkov. There was no room to go.